Hey everybody, Brian Von Vier here. Now you know me to be pretty wholesome, so I'm looking forward to this one. Who is a wholesome character that you've made? Leave yours down in the comment below. Oh, I've been waiting for this. Farron, the Harengon Ranger, smells of lavender and his eyes and ears glow blue when he is happy. I made him originally for roleplay purposes, but he has now become a big threat on the battlefield with his bow of Nylea and two swords of fire and ice. This is supposedly because he hasn't actually gotten a chance to attack yet, but as of yet, he has had a very rough in-game month, having survived a literal battlefield and barely surviving an Elder Bronze Dragon, his eyes and ears slowly starting to lose their color, fading to black. I really hope things turn around for him soon. Before we continue the video, a quick word from our sponsor, the Eternium Playing Cards. This fantasy-themed deck of playing cards substitutes the old suits and royals for exciting new creatures of clashing elements like flaming sea monsters or a horde of half-undead, half-machine monstrosities. Each face card is painstakingly illustrated by hand, and there's even 3 variants of the decks: Dawn, which has the standard canon illustrations for these factions, and yes, there's lore. Dusk, which shows the same factions in a sort of darkest timeline with alternate art pieces to match, and Twilight, which fuses both decks, showing the Dawn and Dusk illustration on every card. Their Kickstarter campaign has been an overwhelming success, and thanks to that, you too can get your hands on these beautifully illustrated decks at the Eternium shop, link in the description. With that covered, let's get back to the video. I once made August the Bat for a 3.5 game. He was a Batfolk druid with an owl. He wanted to try to find his friend, April, and along the way, he befriended many humans and a dragon worshipping Kenku. My plan was, since he was a monstrous humanoid, to level into a prestige class, kinda like 5th edition subclasses, that let him use wild shape to turn into things other than animals. He would eventually be able to turn into a human just like his friends. And at the capstone of the prestige class, he would turn into a dragon, which felt fitting since he was traveling with a dragon worshipper. He was 2 feet tall and just wanted to make sure everyone was safe, wanted to make friends, and one day save April. He died the second session I played him. Critical max damage against a shadow. Rest in peace, August. You were very cute. Meet Eloise Stark. She's a human life domain cleric who wants to be a pediatrician, healing the young and helping them to be healthy enough to fulfill their potential. Circumstances got in her way, however, and her application to join the medical cadre was rejected because she was suspected of being a part of a conspiracy. Instead, the people in charge told her she could join the Dragon Rider Corps, which had a high mortality rate, or be an outcast and spend her days shunned and frowned upon. Going through the first trial, she was confronted by the angry bully Riley. Now, Riley wanted to get rid of the weaklings that would make the Dragon Rider Corps weaker. Eloise, in an attempt to protect another weak character, cast Guiding Bolt on Riley. Nat 20. Riley was down and badly burned. The threat was dealt with. Most characters would just turn around and keep going. Oh no, not Eloise though. She used her Preserve Life ability to bring her to half health. Then used half her spell slots at level 3 to heal her. Helping Riley back up, she turned a potential campaign-long threat into an ally. Together, they went through the trials of training while Riley helped Eloise grow stronger physically. All through the campaign, Eloise maintained a 0 body count. Even in the final battle, she tried to understand the big bad evil guy's reasoning. Yeah, sure, that got her a grenade to the face, but she survived. After the campaign ended, Eloise was able to open her clinic to help both mortals and dragons, becoming world-renowned for the quality of healthcare she provided. She also succeeded in her campaign to make recruitment and the dragon trials safer, allowing for a lower mortality rate while maintaining the quality level of the core. Nibbles the Goblin and his best friend, Hector the Rock with googly eyes. Nibbles is a happy goblin rune knight who is traveling to find out more about his former master, who recently passed away. He always looked on the bright side and saw his former master in high regard, even though his master was an alcoholic with deep depression who would keep getting into trouble, needing Nibbles to pick him up. Hector was originally a magic item the master used to call for Nibbles when he needed help, like when he found himself drunk laying in the ditch again. waking up in a dumpster, got too drunk to walk home from the lady house, or just needed him to get clothes after gambling them away. Despite everything, his master treated Nibbles like a son, and loved and cared for Nibbles. And when he passed away, Nibbles decided to travel to find out more about his master, since he would only talk about his past when he was so drunk that he could barely speak. Nibbles fully believes Hector is talking to him, and believes that Hector is his smart, sassy friend who knows lots of things. He would have complete conversations with Hector too, and whenever he passes an intelligence check, he believes Hector is the one who told him the answer. I'm still playing him and his story has just begun. This character is a kobold dragonborn barbarian. This once nameless kobold has a dream: to kill a dragon. He grew up hearing stories of great heroes and wished to be like them, to be great. And what's a greater feat than slaying a dragon? This kobold wished to accomplish this feat, to be the great hero. However, he was small, and dragons are pretty huge. This little kobold knew of only one thing that could kill a dragon: another dragon. So, on their path to slay a dragon, they set out to become as much like a dragon as possible. He followed ancient song to find the magic that could grant anyone the heart of a dragon. He found ancient runes which gave him scales of brass and a breath of fire. However, this was not enough. This kobold, now part dragon, wanted to be even more like a dragon, not even noticing the third gift bestowed upon him by the runes. He made his way into town, only to trip and fall. In shock, he barely noticed himself growing. He grew and grew until he was nearly 15 feet tall. The townsfolk around him ran away, screaming something. This kobold couldn't quite make out what they were saying, but it sounded like a name. As the townsfolk ran away, this giant monster of a kobold began to shrink down to his original size, filled with glee that the townsfolk had given him a name. The kobold thanked the people of the town for giving him the name of Kaiju. Kai set out to find a dragon to slay. He remained ever cheerful and happy. He is simple. He loves playing his lute, with his smile only ever leaving his face when he believes someone is trying to stop him from achieving his dream. He loves to drink and party, and doesn't quite understand the fact that most people can't eat raw meat the way he does. But, most importantly, nothing will ever stop him from achieving his dream of slaying a dragon. Grandma was a 900-year-old elf wizard of abjuration specialty and enchantment charm focus. She would make low-level magical items for people, like a sweater of enduring elements or mittens of snowball. Her casting of Toll the Dead was banging a pot and a wooden spoon together. Go no wicked. Background information. My DM has a homebrew setting that we've played in for over a decade now, and a previous character of a different player was a druid that went to the Beastlands and had awoken different animals there. Also, the Fae lean into the FAFO and are almost as chaotic as physically possible. Enter Brink Fossil, Velociraptor Druid, hatched on the Beastlands where he met an adventurer and had fun hunting with him, all before being abducted by the Fae for a petting zoo. Think Jurassic Park type one-shot. This zoo was destroyed by a Fae lord who got bored and wanted to reuse the space. Brink's pack died, but he escaped to the Material, where he decided to learn more magic to return home. Thus, he joined the Adventurers Guild, meeting his current party. He didn't know his species' name and tended to respond, "I'm a delight," when questioned. Here are some creative guesses from NPCs of what he actually is. Hunchbacked Kobold. Our Ranger's animal companion, Bladelock. Constantly wild-shaped and just really likes being a lizard. He's a joy to play, somehow wound up as our primary healer, and just wants to help his new pack get what they want to accomplish done, while growing strong enough in magic to go home. One of the players in my recent one-shot tamed a brown bear that I initially intended to keep as an enemy. He named the bear Yogi. Long story short, Yogi quickly turned into a fan favorite by clutching my attempt to kill him with a water weird. Fast forward, a hill giant crushed Yogi's brains into mush. I allowed a charity death saving roll for Yogi, which he succeeded, but on the premise that he gets another -1 to his intelligence stat. He now has 1 intelligence, so he's barely a sentient being. It was fun to develop Yogi's personality as a giant bear who has the intelligence of a rock, a clear indent etched into his skull too. Just goofy as hell. In a game that didn't last long, we had Blair. Blair was a child prodigy who ran away from home to avoid her abusive father. When the mayor, a talking cat, sent the party out of town, she bribed him to let her join the caravan in order to go literally anywhere else. They were halfway to the next town before they realized that she wasn't one of the merchant's children. Refusing to go home, she followed the party around as a bard, using her magical talents and her tambourine to aid the party in their travels. She cooked, cleaned, and helped with what she could around camp. She tried to solve most of her problems peacefully with diplomacy, music, and smiles. She got kidnapped twice and generally confused non-evil punch clock guards with, "What do we do with this child?" She also kept the party's log, which I kept out of character in all of its childish writing glory. Had the game gone longer, I would have started adding crayon drawings. Aw, that's so cute! To begin, they are the artist. As a neutral good, I'm assuming, Warforged Barbarian, they are a folk hero who once convinced their village to stand up to a group of bandits. In the skirmish, a few villagers got hurt bad, and this caused the artist to go berserk with his woodcutter's axe. They beat the bandits alright. However, they were afraid of returning to the residence because of how many got hurt, and because they didn't want to hurt anyone else by accident. Because of this, the artist became a painter and adventurer who dresses as a bard to appear less scary and more friendly. And although they prefer peace, they've still got that axe in case somebody tries hurting their friends. Maga the Demented. He was a Necron impersonating a tech priest, but so senile that he forgot he was a Necron at all. The senility was played up for laughs because Magafar always behaved so freaking old. He had a walker and always paced himself at walking speed even when running, and an exotic gnome collection in his explorer tour that served sort of like a camper that he used to travel around with the rest of the party. There was even a time when he gave peppermint candy to a Black Templar captain that was visiting his workshop. Now, my favorite bit was when Magafair got trapped in a Tau embassy and ended up falling asleep on an alien toilet, only to get arrested and detained by security. Unfortunately, another player playing Fulgrim ended up decapitating Magafair for war crimes, proving once and for all that nobody likes Fulgrim except Fulgrim. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA here, checking in after the vid. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and let us know in the comments below who is a wholesome character that you made. We love you all, be safe out there, see you next time, bye for now.